Hi there, welcome to episode 1 of Coastal Conversations. I am Hilary Marshall with Remax Newport, and I'm here today with Dawn Ryan.
With Shamrock CMG.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So we were kind of talking before we started rolling on this. We were laughing already, and I was like, we need to stop talking.
Reel it in.
Reel it in. So the first question you kind of had was about me changing or not changing my last name.
Right. So I saw your necklace and the Hilary necklace, which I thought if Carrie Bradshaw has one and Hilary has one, I need to get one myself. And the older I get, I probably need to remind myself what my name is. They become like blonde moments, then become geriatric moments. You never know. So I really like it. And so I was questioning, you were talking about how you spell your name, and you said Hilary with one L, and then Marshall has 2. And then it struck me, you did not take your husband's name.
Yeah. So to answer the first one, I actually was going to a lot of conferences and, not feeling as though people knew me. I wanted to make sure you knew my name and you knew how to spell it, because it's a lot to ask of someone when you're like hearing all these other people talking in the background and you're getting introduced to so many people. But the best thing I've seen is the fact that you can just see it right here. So you can quickly glance down, and I actually made it more of a choker for that reason.
It's better than a business card.
Kind of.
Can we get the guys to wear those?
Joe,
Bruce, come on.
The others, yeah, I know. I should probably tattoo it right here. Tattoo it on my face. The other side of it is a Carrie Bradshaw moment. I don't know how many girlies out there grew up with SATC, because I totally did. And I remember the moment when she lost her...
Paris.
Oh my God, Carrie Bradshaw lost her necklace in Paris, and then she found it. She found it in the purse, deep down, and that was a moment.
And she looked up, and there was big. It was big.
That was a moment. So I kind of took it. I had a first edition that was a little bit more scripted, and you couldn't really see the Hilary as much. This is a second edition.
Okay.
I have like a second one at home.
I want to see the other one now. I'm curious.
It's a different font. It took me a couple times to like get the right font where it's not too scripty and you can't like see what it spells.
Wow.
So
that's pretty fancy. There's fonts, there's everything. I just thought it was something you saw on Amazon, you picked it up, and
I did.
Okay.
I did, but you get to pick the fonts, which is kind of cool. I wore it every day. It doesn't rust, so, nice. I'll send you that link.
And your neck is not green, so it's not cheap. So there we go.
That is true.
You didn't get it from Claire's.
That is true. Oh my gosh. Back in the day, the green jewelry, yes.
God bless. I think I might have lost an earlobe once over them.
Oh. Did you get your ears pierced there?
At Claire?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're sitting at the front of the store, and they're like, dead man walking, and there she is, and I'm just being brave, and then it's like, snip. The worst thing I ever saw about ear piercing was a young baby. A friend of mine had her baby get her ears pierced, and the method was to do it simultaneously. One of the hairdressers was second off, like millisecond off, and Shelby, and then, yeah, that was tragic. So I wouldn't recommend that. So they had to do it again. Not only that, but like...
So it just sort of counteracted what they were trying to do.
Right. And these were professionals. Like, these were good professionals, but it just...
You have a flinch or something from a baby. That is hard.
Like, try to get a baby to have, like, peas or carrots or food or oatmeal is, like, a challenge. Try to get them to sit still, to pierce
I would wait
simultaneously.
until they can, like, figure out if they want it, things like that, too. I mean, yes, like, I think we all have them, but it's also an experience when you're, like, 16 or whatever age you got your ears pierced. It's, like, fun to go to the mall with your friends or maybe your mom or something, and it's an experience versus just having it.
Right. And then when you get older like me and your daughter is getting more and you're like, oh, I want to get those too. So my daughter had one for the longest time, and then she went and got 3, and now she has some up here, which I think I'm going to have enough courage to do it this summer. I'm trying.
Cartilage was very hard for me.
Just tell me it's wonderful, because I'm really trying to work myself up for this.
I wanted to be, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a nurse, and I was really wanting to help people was, I think, the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. But then I realized being a nurse includes blood and needles.
Lots of blood.
I can't do it.
Lots of blood.
I
Lots of needles.
I can't do blood. I can't do needles. And then I heard there's stitches. Oh my God. I was like in third grade. Speaking of third grade. So, okay. How many people out there have their parents starting to, go through their attic or go through their old childhood home and now gifting them back their stuff? Well, my mom did.
Wow.
Made it in third grade. She gave it to me the other day.
You made it the other day. Let's be honest.
I made it a couple days ago. So anyway, it's just been keeping my butt warm right now.
I could barely put popsicle sticks together in third grade. Seriously, Hilary, you did that last week.
I probably did. I don't sew. My husband did get me when we first started dating a sewing machine because he also does he sales professionally part-time just for fun more so.
Nice. And
he does, do everything from sale making kind of stuff like that. So he knows how to stitch a few things together. And he kind of gifted me this sewing machine thinking I would pick it up. And I'm like, nope.
Negative.
I'm afraid to get cut.
Negative. There's the needles again. You don't want the stitches. It's all coming full circle now. Mm-hmm. So talking about your husband, we kind of danced around it. You didn't take his last name. And I want to share my story about how I sort of did but didn't. Not his last name. No, it's not.
Okay.
We're not in Utah. It's not.
Okay. So I was into my 30s by the time we got married. I had been in the business for real estate at least a couple of years at that point. Mm-hmm. And not only had I known it, I had a little bit of an identity crisis at one point. Because
Hilary, we know you. Everybody knows you, Hilary. How do you not know you?
Well, you walk down the aisle and, you have this one day and it's the most magical day. You walk down the aisle and then you leave as a new person. As Hilary Marshall becomes Hilary Turcotte, it's almost like the person died in my mind. Mm-hmm. Like it was this weird transition. And I was very happy to be with him. I'm still, but it's hard to get over the identity crisis. I'm a new person. Who is this person? It just was very weird for me.
Right. It's not a switch.
It's not a switch. It's such a very... And then I heard how the paperwork was such a pain.
It is a pain in it, yeah.
And I come from a family who divorced early on. I was about a year old when my parents split. So I think it was more of a protection thing. I think it was more because there's a few avenues. The identity, I've known it for so long. This has been over 30 years. I've had this name. I also know that my parents divorced. So I was protecting myself. And then at the same time, I'm like, who is this Hilary Turcotte?
Right.
I love Nick Turcotte. I don't know who Hilary Turcotte is. It's another person.
Fair. And it's so bizarre that we are expected just a light switch just to morph into this different identity, and it doesn't happen that way. And unfortunately, marriage gives a lot of females that sense of you have to switch your identity, which you don't. It's a coming together really. And when I was married about 23 years ago, a little bit longer than you. So
we're on year 3 almost.
Yeah. It actually gets better. It actually gets better. Every part of marriage, there's a different adventure and different learning, and it's wonderful. So, kids, if you decide to have them, that's a whole different ballgame. We'll talk about that too. But so backstory, I'm one of 5, and my stepfather adopted all of us. And so I've had
I didn't know that.
I've had a couple of name changes in my life. And when I was adopted, they dropped my middle name. Somehow I lost my middle name. So
wow.
I was born Dawn Teresa. That was my middle name. And then when the adoption paperwork was finalized, it was Dawn Huggins. That's it. I'm like, where did Mom, Dad, where did my middle name go?
Yeah.
And they didn't even, I was one of 5. They were doing the best they could. It was a lot of you talk about paperwork.
Yes.
So
they're someone forgot it.
Yeah, and I was the only one of my 4 siblings. I was the only one who lost her middle name. So when I just adore my stepfather, who's my father, and he was 24 and he adopted 5 children.
Wow.
I could barely tie my shoes when I was 24. So, he just has my utmost respect. So when I went to fill out the paperwork to get married, I was like, you know what? I'm going to slip that last name in as my middle name.
Yeah.
So I sort of like...
Teresa.
Yeah. So Dawn Huggins. Huggins is now my middle name.
Okay.
And Ryan, obviously, is my last name.
I don't get how people can do 4 names because legally, like, the system doesn't allow for 4 names. I would have 4-named myself. But the system doesn't allow you unless you hyphenate something.
Oh, fair. And think about your kids, too. Like, when they go to fill out that paperwork, all those bubbles they have to fill out, that's a lot of writing.
Like, I would have 4-named myself if that was the case, too. Because then people would have seen the beginning part of it. If you're searching on Google for Hilary Marshall, Hilary Marshall Turca would have still come up.
Oh, fair. Okay.
So I would have done that, but you can't do it unless you, like, hyphenate. So you can't double name yourself in a way. Fair. But I was not dropping my middle name because it's after my great-grandmother who I knew till I was 17 and she died at 105. So I was like, I'm not dropping.
There's longevity there. You're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Girl, that's why Hilary Marshall is staying here.
Here to stay.
I'm here to stay. I've got some longevity. I got some 90s in there. Yeah, a couple 90s, high 80s. And then she lived to 105. And you know what? Honestly, going for walks and, just less stress in the world. And I'm like, whew, got to take the page out of her book.
Yep, self-care.
Yeah, it really is. She would always go for a walk every day with her 2 dachshunds. And she would swim a lap in the pool and,
Now, did you grow up on Aquidneck Island?
No.
Okay.
No. I grew up in New York, in Westchester County, in a small town, like a third the size of Newport, called Bronxville. And I went to K through 12 at the same school, like same building. The building's probably the size of like Bowen's Wharf, Bannister's Wharf, like all combined under one roof. Wow. It's massive, K through 12. And yeah, so born, raised there. And when it came time for looking for colleges, I kind of considered New York a little bit. Then I was like, no, I think I'm good. I didn't want to go into the city. I've done the city. I didn't want to go to upstate. Anything north of...
Why? Is that like going off the island? Like, do you just not do that?
It's like, anything above it was sort of like there wasn't something fun for a 19, 18-year-old. It's just a college town, most likely. Yeah, it's a little bit more rural.
Like Vermont?
Kind of.
No disrespect to Vermont, but...
but it's like you go off island and there's just like, it's almost like Johnston. It's very like, there's not much there except for great little neighborhoods and things like that. If you're a 19-year-old, 18-year-old who wants to go to college, you want New York City, you want fun, you want things to do.
Fair.
So my mom went to URI. We already had a second home here in Newport. And growing up, she's like, bringing me up here on weekends. And at that point, I'm like, you're taking me away from my friends.
And now you're like, I want to stay.
And I'm like, yeah, as I looked for colleges, I pretty much honed in on Rhode Island and Colorado.
They're very similar. No, they're not. Not at all.
I did look at a college in Florida. I didn't want Connecticut. I realized that anything north of here was too cold.
Fair.
But I loved, like, Colorado was my other choice. Denver, Boulder. Oof.
Do you ski?
I do. Well, I snowboard, and then I'm learning to ski now. Not great, but I'm still learning. I've snowboarded, for years. But I just love, like, the mountains. I think there's something about it, and that's why I love Vermont, too. Like, there's parts of, exploring, going out. As you get older, it's something different. Yeah. But I realized that...
Nice to visit, but not nice to stay.
Yes. And when I graduated, I had a bigger picture plan that I was like, where are my friends going to be when we graduate after 4 years? Yep. Big picture planning. And I said,
baby
okay,
steps,
well, they're going to be
steps.
from anywhere from New Jersey to Vermont, Maine, or something like that. So I was like, they're going to be New Englanders, or they're going to be from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut kind of thing. So I had a feeling that my friends would be around this area. I was going to love this area. And then I was like, damn. Mom's right.
Sorry, Mom.
I complained for years coming here, and then I'm like, I end up here. I end up living here. She told me after college, she's like, you can move back home for free or you can figure it out. I go, I'm figuring it out.
There you go. And I met your mom. She's adorable, and she is a force. Like, the apple did not fall far from the tree is all I'm going to say.
It's so funny. My husband, years ago, we were at a Christmas party, and he has a NSYNC, not not to be confused with NSYNC.
That's what I was like, where are we going with this?
An NSYNC video of the two of us with the same ironic outfit on, doing the same like mom moves, like we're dancing, like it's the Susie moves.
Go Susie.
Yeah.
Go Susie.
Yeah. She's all about it. So yeah, no, the apple did not fall for her.
So is she here locally?
She's here part-time. She still lives.
Still going back and forth.
Yeah, she still goes back and forth to New York, does the track, but she's been, dripping a little bit here, lingering a little bit longer. I mean, Newport's wonderful. So
It doesn't suck.
it doesn't suck.
So real estate, how did you get to that point? So you went to college, had a great time, did the 4-year plan, and then what happened?
I went to Roger Williams, Bristol, lived in Bristol a year after graduating because I was in denial that I graduated in 4 years. I was like, wait, what? What happened? It went like that.
Grad school, keep it stay.
I was trying to figure out, and at that point, my mom's like, you can come back to New York or you can stay. And I was like, I'm going to figure this out. Yeah. So, I actually went to RISD, so I moved to Providence. I went to Rhode Island School of Design and did their interior design certification program. It took me 3 years.
That's where you made the pillow. The pillow. And she quickly decided that was not the path for her. That's how she ended up in real estate.
I realized, yes. I realized that I think with interior design, you like see the client once and then you leave and go back and do your thing for 2 months. Like behind the scenes, CAD, Revit, SketchUp, you're working with stuff, you're figuring out some big projects. You're like, one of my projects that I had to do with a client was move a grand piano, not a baby grand, a grand piano from one side of the room to the other. So it wasn't actually moving. Getting piano movers is a actual thing.
Let me see those muscles. Those piano muscles.
Getting like a piano to move from one side, people didn't want to do it because it wasn't a big enough job. So then I'm trying to figure out like, how do I move a grand piano, not a baby grand piano from one side to the other? And I'm like, I'm done.
Peace out. I got my pillow. I'm done.
I actually started working in high-end fine art sales, and I sold a beautiful piece by Thompson, and for $85,000. And my husband, then boyfriend at the time, said, "You're in the wrong industry." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You got to be in real estate." I go, "Why do you say that?" My dad also was an architectural photographer for many years. So that side of thing. And then my uncle was a historic preservation. It's in me.
Real estate, it's there. It's in the blood.
It's like it's filtered between historic preservation and my dad being like a photographer for Architectural Digest for many years. It's like somehow became this. But yeah, I pretty much at the end of the day realized that between 6 years of sales in fine art, I really loved people. I really loved, it was never about the sale. It was about the emotion. How can I make people feel connected to something? And then that's when I realized real estate was like the next step. My interior design passion from my past and sales came together.
Fair. And I've worked with you before, and I do see that it's not transactional for you. It's completely about the relationship. It's getting the customer to the finish line, helping them achieve their goals, achieve their dreams. And it's definitely obvious that you are doing it for all of the right reasons. I mean, people can do it transactionally. It's just not as fulfilling, I find. And you definitely have set the mark there. So as far as real estate is concerned, how many years have you been in?
6? Not much.
Seriously?
Yeah, 2018.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like you've accomplished. I'm thinking like you were going to say at least 10.
No.
Wow.
6.
Okay. So 6 years. During that time, global pandemic, what sticks out? Like, what shifts?
So I started out as a unlicensed assistant, then became licensed. I put my head down so much in 2020, realized that my grandmother, when I was younger, would always say, "Honey, you never need the money when you're young. You always need it when you're old." And that stuck with me. Yeah, Grandma's wise words.
I'm getting old. I need the money. And I got 2 kids in college too, so there's that.
So I think at that point, 2020, 21, I kind of put my head down. The next thing that sticks out was I got engaged in 21 in March. Also in 21, I bought my house in August, and I got married also in 2021 in October.
Wow.
So literally end of March engaged, August 2nd, bought a house, October 10th, got married. 21 was like, woof, I don't know. But one of my best years yet, because I put my head down, I hustled, and that's all my responsibility was pay rent and do that.
And I've seen the wedding pictures. That was a good wedding.
I put that together in 6 months.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, 6 months.
Wow.
Well, a little over 7, but like a little over towards the 7, but more so 6 months.
And in the middle of a global pandemic. And trust me, living in Newport, we have a boat right on Rhode Island. And we saw the weddings coming in and out. And I made a comment to my husband the other day. We're on the boat on a Monday, and I said, "Gosh, I miss like the pandemic weddings, because they were like, once the door was open to have a wedding again, it was like weddings were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday." And it was a little bit, now there's a lull, and it goes back to more of like Thursday, Friday. So for you to like manage all of that in the middle of that global pandemic and all of the lockdowns, good for you.
Yeah, and actually,
no small feat.
We met October 10th of 2016. So the date popped up. We found the location. I said, well, where's the location that's going to be the easiest? Honestly, I didn't care. I was like, all I care about was the people around me, the dress that I wore, and the flowers.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and that was it. I was like, it just really, at the end of the day, I just wanted the princess dress and people around me, and like pink flowers.
Really? You like pink?
I like.
I did not know that. Fun fact about Hilary.
Fun fact about Hilary: I hate the color pink. Sidebar is that I wore this today because of Sue Pinky Benson. I wore the lipstick because of Hope to Your Colt. And cheers. But
I wore this because it was washed.
And because it was washed. So pretty much, I just did it all. And then when the 10-10 came up, I was like, well, men are stupid. So let's keep the 10-10.
Let's keep it, kiss.
So we got married 5 years to the day that we met, almost down to the hour, because I actually was with a friend at the time we met, and I was hanging out with her, didn't know him at the time. And we met for dinner. Probably, my brain probably thinks around 6:30, like, hey, let's grab dinner at 6:30. We met right after that. We got married 10-10 of 21 at 5 p.m.
Damn.
So almost 5 years to the day, to the hour.
Very calculating.
I plan things.
She's a planner.
Again.
She's a planner.
I'm a planner. I have my 5-year vision, always. You always have to revamp it, but you always have a 5-year vision.
So, all right, 5 years. Where are we?
Well, should I manifest this or should I tell everyone? I want good people around me. I want good people. I want support. I think, there's things out there that I see that could be fixed. And I want to really make sure that not only the people around me, especially like the agents and like who I'm working with, are just happy. My client experience becomes smooth and seamless and they're so happy. I want to shower my people as best as I can. I want to appreciate them. And that's what I think I try to do every day. I got a message from a client this morning. Best message ever. Let me see. I'm going to actually read it. I'm only reading this because it was like something I woke up to. He said, "Thank you so much for everything, Hilary. You've been brilliant at creating demand and getting a seamless person for my house. I very much appreciate all you have done and do and your transparency and communication throughout it all."
Fair.
Like that was everything. And honestly, I want people like you, people like my marketing team behind me, Nick. My admin as well, Lexi, just good people, around me. And I want to be able to say, how can I support you? How can I teach you? How can I, it goes back to the whole thing. How can I help you? When I was a kid wanting to be a nurse, it had nothing to do with blood and needles. It was, how can I help you?
Fair. It all comes full circle. And I've encouraged some friends to join your team, and part of it's very easy. When you see something that you believe in, it's just so easy. And you've made it easy for my friends who have transitioned over, and for customers. It's just, I can't wait to see what the next 5 years has in store for you, because you're not only building something for your customers, you're building something for the community. You're building this great community. And I love the fact that you're focused on the process too, because the process can be daunting. I mean, individuals purchase how many homes in their life, and even the most intellectual people, it's foreign to them. It's foreign to them. So to have somebody like you on their team, coaching them through, and then to have professionals and you're on their team. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens in 5 years. Can we meet back in 5 years?
Yeah.
Can we?
Wait, hold on. What's today's date?
What time? She's very calculated. It is.
5 years to the date. We will come back. We will revisit, and we'll see. We'll see.
I'm sure we will not be surprised. Okay, the bracelet.
Oh.
Okay, I a little bit of a Swiftie fan. I don't know if that's where those came from, but
the first I'm gonna say is, I don't know if you can see, but these are permanent jewelry. Is the first 3. These are all from Lazuli, handcrafted. Wonderful clients of mine, but also amazing jewelry. She has a very cute little crab that she casted, and it's all in gold now.
Oh, wow.
So she took one from the sea, little dead crab that was about this big. It's a baby. It was so cute. And
that's
then I got the.
I can't even, like, the wedding rings come off sometime. That's like a huge commitment.
Oh, this is so these are permanent jewelry, and then we'll go a little Swiftie. So the second one is Lover. For all of you Swiftie fans know what that is. Lover. And then I do have Believe in the white, because I wanted to have a neutral tone, but then believe in the day-to-day, believe in yourself, believe in everything around you, and it'll come, right? The biggest thing is believe. And then I just have Newport, which actually it's by Rellery. This one's kind of interesting because it actually says Newport, and it was targeted to me by like a fun Instagram ad, and it had all these locations, and it was like everything from, I want to say like Capri, Nantucket, Newport, like all these bougie destinations, and I was like, I have to get the Newport.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Lover, Believe, Newport, and then my Lazuli handcrafted.
Sweet. I love it. So I'm coming to visit Newport for the first time.
Okay.
What do you recommend?
Oh gosh, where are you from?
I grew up northwest of Boston, so I'm a New Englander, but
Okay. Boston's a little foreign to me, and not gonna lie, as a New Yorker, I'm like, I could tell you New York like the back of my hand. Boston's still a little foreign to me.
I'll take you sometime.
Those cow paths, just like, I mean, I'm very regimented. I'm a 5-year planner. I like urban planning, New Yorker style. I'm like, cut it in sections, put it east and west, and we're good.
East and west. And when people give me directions like that, it goes right over my head. I'm like, What is it by? Is it by the Big Blue Bug? Is it, is it by First Beach? That's how I hear direction.
And we looked it up, like, what's the significance of the Big Blue Bug?
Good marketing.
That's literally it. It was built in 1980, and it was just marketing.
Were you born then?
What?
Were you born then?
Let's not talk about it.
All right.
I'm a millennial.
Oh my gosh. I'm Gen X. We'll have fun.
I think my husband's Gen X.
Oh.
Two different gens.
I want to be at the kitchen table sometimes for those conversations.
You also have 2 stubborn Tauruses, head to head, like bulls. But anyway, what were we talking about?
The Big Blue Bug marketing and the fact that I'm old and you're young.
What was the original topic?
So I'm coming into Newport.
Oh, yes. So you're coming into Newport from Boston, and you want to be here for how many hours? How many days? What are you doing?
Oh, long weekend.
Long weekend. Okay.
Coming out on Friday.
Okay. So where do you want to stay? What kind of scenery do you want? Do you want ocean, or you just want cheap? Or do you want like what? Ooh. Do you want like the experience of like an Airbnb? Like what are you looking for?
Ocean.
Okay. Do you want to be close to town?
Yes. I want to walk out and be able to go.
Okay. So I would say Hammets would be, or the Brenton, or the Marriott. Those are all right downtown. You don't have to touch a car. You literally park it and you're walking downtown. Any of the small inns around there too. The Viking is great as well.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Love
that's
it.
Sweet.
Love it.
They just did some renovation too.
Oh, okay.
They did,
yeah. I'll have to check that out. I love their cafe down there. I will sometimes take my dog and go to their little cafe on the first floor and just.
Is that the one that's like outside? Can you go outside or
it's
no?
like if you go to the concierge and you take a right, it's like a cute little, it almost looks Parisian.
Oh, okay.
It's like, it makes me feel as though I'm like a New York City / Parisian cafe, and I'm staying at the hotel, but I live here.
And you don't have to pay for the room.
I don't have to pay for the room. So yeah, I sometimes will like take my dog and I'm like, hi, how's it going? Bye. I'm just gonna go for a coffee.
And the experience.
Yes, and the experience. It really is an experience, honestly. So what do you want to do while you're here? Do you want to do activities like?
A little bit of food, like I want something hearty, but then for lunch, but then I want something high end for dinner.
Okay, so high end for dinner, let's go there. My favorites would be, if you want the real Newport experience, is either Cookhouse,
Okay.
22 Bones, because you're also getting a really good scenery.
Fair.
If you want the that high end experience too, I would also say the Mooring.
Okay.
You know, it's all part of Newport Restaurant Group except for Cookhouse, but I think those are.
It's all in the same area, right?
Yeah,
easy
it's
enough.
all in the same area. It's still walkable, especially if you stay at like Hammond's, Brenton, Viking, anything like that. Those are all, it's right downtown. If you have a dog, pause on Pelham.
What?
10 out of 10. Pause on Pelham.
Never heard of it.
It's a little inn. It's so cute. Our friend from Boston actually went there once and brought his dog, and it's totally pet friendly, and it's like totally directed towards like the animal lover. I think your dog has like a bed and stuff and like
Pup cups?
oh yes. So it's hard because Newport, like a lot of the hotels can't take a dog, so
Fair.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so lunch, where are we going?
Okay, so for lunch, I think there's so many amazing options. That's the one thing. It's just like how many amazing options. I would say Midtown Oyster Bar is one of always my favorite. They have the upstairs bar as well if you go to the second floor, and you can look out a little bit more.
Okay.
I would also do the lobster bar.
Okay.
Lobster Shack.
That's huge too, and it's
So the lobster bar, yes,
Okay,
but then
yes.
the lobster shack either, honestly.
Okay.
So lobster bar, you have literally pretty much 180 degrees of the bay.
Okay.
Like you have full view. It's very much almost like you're off the boat kind of style.
Okay.
And then the lobster bar, or the lobster shack is right off of the shipyard.
Okay, it's like a
Mom and Posh, yeah.
almost like a bus or like
Yeah, it's a little
food truck.
lobster shack.
Okay.
Little lobster shack.
Yum.
And it's honestly, that's probably the best lobster. During COVID, we actually picked up a lobster. The woman gave it to us and she goes, this felt a little light. We went home, opened it up, and she could tell, I guess the claw was like, the actual meat was like this big, but the physical claw was like this big. So she had a feeling that the claw had not developed into like the actual hard shell claw. So she's like, just let me know and I'll boil you another one. But that was like COVID.
Yes.
But they were just like trying to get business, and it was like such a nice thing, especially for a local.
Fair. I actually went there once and they had a blue lobster. It was really cool.
You know, that's like 1 in a million.
Yeah, she pulled us in. The kids were little, and we came in. It was really cool.
Was it the same color meat?
Was it? Oh, no, well, we didn't buy it. Like, we don't have that much money.
How much was a blue lobster? 1 in a million is probably.
I don't know. Folks, help us out.
Yeah, how much is a blue lobster? Like, what do you do with a blue lobster when you catch it? Do you put it back in? Do you sell it? Is the meat the same cost?
All right, I'm going to be looking this up.
I'm Googling this later.
My young kids just thought it was cool, so that was the end of the story for us, but
how much is the meat?
Piqued my curiosity.
Yeah,
now.
is it the same color? Is it like the same pinkiness, or is there a touch of blue?
Oh, I don't know. And how does it get blue?
How does it get blue?
How does it get blue?
Algae. I don't know. Help us out.
We'll find out,
Spirulina. Spirulina. It turns things greenish, but like, yeah.
So good. So, all right. So local places, mom and pop shops.
I love Flo's too. That's in Middletown. That's a great spot. These are all good local spots. I would definitely midday have a drink at Castle Hill. I think that is the experience you have to have.
Fair.
Hop on one of the tour boats. If you're a motor person, I would do Gansett.
Okay.
And then if you love sailboats, Adirondack. Mm-hmm. If you like chowder, Black Pearl is an amazing clam chowder. They've won a bunch of times. I heard a rumor at one point that they couldn't enter the chowder festival because they kept winning.
Oh, really? They're like, stop
winning.
It's unfair.
Yes. There's a lot of great festivals. We have like Seafood Fest. Like there's so many good festivals too that Bowen's Wharf and put on and things like that throughout the season. We also have an April Beer Fest. Like there's so many amazing stuff. So you always can also align it
Fair.
Cars and Coffee on Sunday.
So fun.
And that's
so fun.
early enough too.
Mm-hmm. And it's always popping up at different places too. It's like Second Beach, it's Fort Adams. There's, you can always find it at a different place. It's great. Just a little shout out for Chowder, my friend Katie Potter and Port Chowder Company. Talk about a local mom and pop shop. Yeah,
she did a good job.
She took mom's recipe and ran with it, and now she's
They're everywhere. They're at every event.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I saw the line, what was it, at the Seafood Festival on Bowens, and the line was probably like a mile long.
Yes. It's so good. And I mean, I'm lucky she's a friend, so in a pinch, Katie, can I go and get a bag of chowder, please? She's like, yes, Dawn.
Exactly.
So good. So good. So
I would also probably do the rail car if you have some extra time.
Yes.
If you're here on a Thursday night in the summer, there's also Newport Film, which is some of my favorite. They switch up their locations too. So if you can make it like a long weekend, I would come on like Thursday afternoon, pop in, pull those also on Saturday, Wednesday. I could give you your whole thing.
I think you have another career in store. It's not real estate anymore.
I do. And then Wednesday, you've got like also our farmers market across the street from our office.
Yes, actually, and there's one on Saturday off of East Main Road at Embrace Home Loans. They have let them use the space, and it's great. It's a great easy in and out.
Yeah, because that's a big lot.
It's a huge lot. Yes,
that's so good that they use it for something more.
Embrace is so philanthropic. They saw the opportunity to help the community, and they said no problem.
Yeah, that's awesome because there's like so much to do in the summer, especially here in this area, like anywhere on the island. But what's your favorite like thing to do in the summer? Like, what's your one thing that you have to go to, you can't miss? The one thing that I have to go to a polo event. I have to go to.
So spoiled living here for over 20 years. I mean, we've done those things so much over the years. At this point, just, going to Lebec Sucre, getting.
I did it this morning.
Getting a pastry, going to Second Beach, before the crowds come in and sitting there and taking it all in is just amazing.
What's your thing at Lubec? Like, what do you get there?
I don't think I can pronounce it. Barnaby looks at me and you tried really hard.
Okay, so I get the pear croissant and the blueberry croissant, and then I get the charcoal bread if I like.
Charcoal bread, amazing. It's I get the tart. It has fruit in it, pear. If they have the pear.
It's the pear tart.
Pear tart, but it has a fancy French name that
I just say pear because I got that this morning, and I'm like pear blueberry.
I normally just go with that one. They just shake their head. But yes, their baguettes are amazing. Actually, their brioche bread, I buy it and make.
My husband got that today.
French toast with it.
Oh my god.
Amazing. The kids like me this week because I made it. So,
you're the favorite.
You gotta keep those teenagers happy. So
the guy behind me this morning in line actually was like, so do you make a croissant with chocolate in the middle? And he's like, yeah, chocolate croissant. And he goes, no, it's like wrapped on top. And he goes, the cookie croissant? They have like a cookie croissant? Oh yeah.
At Lebec Sucre?
I think Instagram made him do it.
Barnaby, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a cookie croissant. It's got like the cookie on top of the croissant, and then there's chocolate in the middle.
Okay. Delish. Delish. So after I've had way too many pastry, I then go for a nice walk along Satuas, which is, Satuas or Cliff Walk. Cliff Walk can get a little bit busy during the summer months, so Satuas is just so picturesque. It's gorgeous. And so, nice little walk there. And
I love it.
I mean, the mansions are always good. I mean, when we have company come into town, it's such a great bit of history. And then you end up watching something on Netflix after that's a spinoff from one of the mansions you saw. So did
you watch The Gilded Age?
We started, yes.
Oh,
yes.
I love it. So I went to one of the mansions the other day, and I think it was Marble House. Yes, Marble House. And it's part of the Gilded Age, which is so cool because so much like reference comes back to this area.
Fair.
It's so crazy how many like references, everything from famous people who live here, to like the references through the Gilded Age on Netflix. Like that's pretty cool. I mean, my hometown does not have that claim to fame. No. We have we've got a few people, but that's about it, you know?
Lowell had a couple cop shows, so probably isn't going to end up on Netflix.
So we've got everyone from Jay Leno, who lives here, Judge Judy. Who else? We did have Nicolas Cage at one point.
He sold. He was in Middletown, right?
He might have gone into bankruptcy. Yes.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah. And then we do have James Taylor. Or James Taylor in Jamestown.
I'm like, who is that?
James Taylor. James Taylor's in Jamestown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what else would you do for your day after your walk at Statuus and, you know, your perfect kind of day here?
Perfect day? I mean, go home, take a nap, hold some laundry. I'm a mom. Like, that's what I do.
I'm a mom. Hey.
I mean, the shopping is always great. I mean, the local shops like Groove on Thames Street, such great stuff.
Yeah.
Bellevue Kids, actually, I have to hop over there. My cousin, I'm meeting up with her this weekend. She's expecting, so I want to get her little baby a Newport
boy
sweatshirt.
Boy or girl?
Boy. So the little Newport sweatshirt. So, you know, the shopping's always great. And to be able to quickly that's what I grew up northwest of Boston. So to be able to, you know, growing up, I would be able to go up to New Hampshire. I could go to Boston. Like just the ability to get somewhere else out of Dodge when you want to. And that's one of the beautiful things about here is, you know, there's so much to do here, but I can quickly go to Providence. I can quickly get to New York. I can quickly get to Boston.
So exactly, like 3 hours to New York, 3 hours to Portland, Maine, which I think is a northern Newport. And then to my dad's house in like Stratton area in Vermont is 4 hours. Like it's so easy. Boston's an hour. Like going to see T Swift is an hour. She's in Westerly.
That's right.
Watch Hill. Yep.
Do you think we'll see them this summer?
I hope so. He's such. Travis Kelce is such a supporter of her. Okay, anyway.
I'm rooting for them.
I am too. I'm like, where's the proposal?
Yes.
Where's the proposal? Come on. And I'm loving the fact that he is so open to it, to like supporting her. There was a quote that said like, I don't care, you know, I'm all about privacy, but I don't care who knows it. She's my girl. I was like,
my lady.
That's the cutest.
I said to my husband, I'm like, can you watch this? Can you like follow his lead? No. I mean, so, it's amazing to see two strong, successful people just building each other up. And, you know, in that, those industries, there can be a lot of, I don't know if it's jealousy or feeling uncomfortable by somebody else's success, where it's just amazing to see them supporting each other. I don't know them, but it's
we all know T Swift though.
We do.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
So why do you think T Swift is so famous, and why does she have such a following in your mind?
Because I think, like you, she's transparent, she's open, she's honest, and she's real. I think that Travis, that's his name, right? Travis, he had said something about how she's just very self-aware. And I think that when you're in a position of power over time, you can lose that. I mean, I see it even, at a very low level. I see it in our government, certain levels of power, like you just become unaware. And she seems very self-aware. And I think that she does a good job of balancing being an entertainer and being a leader, but not being over the top, because that can just, I want to hear your music. I don't necessarily want to hear your political opinions, but she has to be real too. If she's asked the question, she answers the question, but it's not first and foremost what she's about. I mean, I'm sure she is in her own personal way, but we don't need to know that necessarily.
Yeah. And I think the other side of that coin is that she relates, and there was an interview about her being in a car. She's on her way to the next appointment and everything. And she's like, as she's passing paparazzi and thousands of fans, she's like, I love this. I love every fan, but I also know that this is not real. Like, she's so self-aware, passing thousands of fans, that she's like, this is not normal.
And she's had a long career. I mean, she started so young, and it's just amazing to see this career just span so many years. And I have to think part of it is her support system, like having a core support system of people that keep you grounded, keep you real, and have you check yourself every so often. Yeah. So that's what I think. I don't know.
So there was a girl in high school. We had like a weird connection that both of our families were somehow connected, ironically, in New York. So in New York, our my cousin's grandparents like married her grandparents or something. It was just a very like weird thing that, of course, you know, the world is small. So
it's like
the next thing you know,
on Quinnipiac Island, everybody knows everybody.
Everyone knows everyone. So she introduced me when we were in high school to T Swift. Unfortunately, she passed away from cancer. But at the same time, I've kept T Swift in my heart because of her a little bit too. So she introduced me, what was it? Oh God, years ago. And that was when she was going through her like country phase. Like that's so crazy today. Look at her. She's so like amazing. As I'm going through all of her new music, it's just, you relate, you know, 1989, hey, millennial, like going through the same phases too as her.
Fair. Oh, so, okay, so now we know when you were born.
Not exactly, but yeah, it's very close.
Yeah, so everybody knows everybody is like the theme of Aquidneck Island.
Yeah.
And, you know, to get anywhere in Rhode Island is, you know, 40 minutes max.
Yeah. It's funny because I have lived in Bristol, I've lived in Warwick, I've lived in Providence, and I'm living in Newport. So the only place I haven't lived in is South County. I've lived in 4 out of the 5 counties.
Okay.
So, but like at the same time, when everyone's like, oh, you got to go to Providence, I'm like, 20 to 30 minutes, but it's really 40.
Yeah.
Going to Little Compton, 20 minutes, but it's really 40 because you're going 30 miles an hour.
Little Compton is...
And then you have all the stops, and then you have got like, yeah.
Little Compton, it should be its own county.
Honestly, we should just make a bridge. That's all it needs is a bridge, a direct line bridge. But Little Compton's never going to allow it.
No.
They will never allow it with their LCATs and all the things. They're like, nope, don't touch our farmland.
Nope. It's funny. So Fifth Ward.
Yeah.
That they're their own force field. We're not going to penetrate through that. Like it's sort of like Bristol. If you are born there and you move out, like you're shamed. You are shamed. You are shunned. You're shunned. So, and the same with Fifth Ward. I remember when I moved
like
here.
Like the Amish.
The Amish, yes.
Like the Amish. You're shunned if you leave.
You're shunned.
Yeah.
Good day. When they say good day, they don't mean it. Like it's sort of like
bless your heart.
I'm like, they're really not blessing anybody.
Sidebar. We had someone who said, oh yeah, someone told me bless your heart. Like, both of us look at each other because the person's saying, oh yeah, this person told me bless your heart. They seem so sweet. I'm like, no. My mother-in-law is from Virginia. When she says bless your heart, it ain't nice.
You just like Homer Simpson fading into the bushes.
Yes.
So I have a friend of mine, when I moved here about 20-something years ago, we were going to Taunton, which is 40 minutes away. Everything's 40 minutes away.
Yep.
And I remember, you know, talking to her about the plans to leave the next morning. And I said, okay, we're going to go down, you know, we'll take East Main Road, we'll pick up 24, and then it's, you know, exit, you know, it's 140 off of 24. And she looked at me and she said, 24? Is it Route 24?
Yeah.
One of the lifelines here? Like, she said, oh, no, I go over the bridges. I just go to Warwick. And legit, like, she's an Islander.
Yeah.
Once they put a Walmart and a Home Depot, there's no reason to get off the island now.
Moving from Providence, because I was in Providence on the east side, right off of Wickenden for like 3 years, and I loved it. But I always was like, why don't people leave? But you realize you have Home Depot, you have every restaurant you want here, you have the beaches, which people come to and flock to.
Fair.
You literally have every shopping center, every shopping opportunity that you really want here.
Minus a Target and a Trader Joe's and or Home Goods. Like, if I really probably wouldn't
Home
leave.
Goods, we just got a Home Goods.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We just got a Home Goods.
Yes. There were people on Facebook, husbands, that were posting, we didn't know this was coming. You should have warned us. I looked at my credit card bill.
Stop it.
Yes. Multiple.
Yeah, I might have gone there.
Yes.
Sorry, Nick.
We were like groupies. We were waiting.
He told me, my husband told me, he's like, oh, did you know? And I was like, I knew it opened.
I can only make so many pillows. Like, sometimes I have to buy them.
I can only make so many pillows. I have to buy a pillow. Actually, my dogs ruined the pillows and I bought 5.
It's just
the muddy paws. It's the muddy paws.
It's
the muddy paws. But I got white.
You got white with a dog? God bless.
Bleach is my friend.
Oh, okay.
Bleach
you
is
know what's good too is vinegar. Yep, I've been putting vinegar in my laundry. Okay, now I'm sounding very geriatric. Oh dear.
So I think we're running a little bit out on time, but I appreciate everything on these amazing, fun coastal conversations.
Love it. Thank you for including me. Happy
This has been amazing.
And next time I'll have my necklace.
You should have your necklace, Dawn. Well, if you or anyone wants to join, let me know. But I appreciate everyone from viewing, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.